She battled severe headaches for almost a year. Then doctors took a brain scan and saw 8 eggs. Yadira Rostro is a mother from Garland, Texas. She was a busy mom who always had something to do. In 2015, the 31-year-old mother started having headaches. Now, at first, she thought that she was having migraines. There were times the pain was so bad it was affecting her eyesight. She didn't know what was wrong with her, but she had a feeling it was serious. When Yadira's headaches continued, they actually seemed to be getting worse, so she decided to go see a doctor to see what on earth was wrong. If it was migraines that was causing her pain, maybe she could get something to treat them. She went to Methodist Dallas Medical Center and the doctors there ordered a CT scan. The doctors were worried because of her symptoms that she may be suffering from a brain tumor. When the doctors checked the scans, they discovered that there was an obstruction that was preventing spinal fluid from flowing into her brain. To treat the immediate symptoms, they inserted a catheter to relieve the pressure. Next, they ordered an MRI to see what exactly was causing that blockage. They assumed it was probably a tumor as they suspected, and that was causing the blockage of the blood. But they were wrong. The scans showed that Yadira had a group of sacs at the base of her brain, and what shocked them even more is that those sacs looked like they were tapeworm eggs. She battled severe headaches for a year, and now they find eggs in her head. Yadira's doctors had to consult with an infectious disease specialist to come up with a plan to remove the larva. They called in the brain surgeon and got to work. First, they had to put Yadira to sleep so that they could remove part of her skull. They needed to see the base of her brain, which is where the eggs were. When they got in, they found 8 tapeworm eggs. Yadira's neurosurgeon, Dr. Richard Marit, had to split her cerebellum after removing her skull. It was then that he could see the sacs. The medical team went in with the help of a microscope and they removed all the eggs. Each one looked like tiny eggs. They had a clear sac and inside there were small tapeworms. The doctors got the entire surgery on video. Yadira knew that her surgery was recorded, but she chose not to watch. She says she's just happy to be alive and free from those headaches. Now that the eggs are out of her brain, the fluid was able to enter her skull as normal. She was thrilled the doctors figured out what was wrong with her and she could live pain-free again. After the surgery, Yadira gave some thought to how the eggs ended up in her brain in the first place. She had taken a trip to Mexico with her family 2 years earlier. Her doctors assumed that maybe she ate some contaminated food and the parasite traveled through her bloodstream and ended up in the brain. According to the World Health Organization, tapeworm infections are actually fairly common in rural regions. These types of infections can also be caused by eating undercooked meat. If food or water comes into contact with an infected animal or person, it can also cause this type of infection. This is why it's so important to watch what you eat and drink, especially when traveling abroad. Most people think the idea of tapeworms in the brain is something out of a science fiction movie. It's actually more common than they think, and a lot more scary. Each year, around 1,000 Americans end up in the hospital with the same type of infection that Yadira was suffering from. Unfortunately, not everybody is as lucky as Yadira was. Many people who have worms or eggs in their brain, they don't find out before it's too late. All over the world, hundreds of people die from this kind of affliction. Fortunately, Yadira is not one of those people. She got the treatment she needed in time to save her life. According to the United States Center for Disease Control, the treatment for this type of infection is a tremendous economic burden because the average cost to remove tapeworms and their eggs is $37,600. Fortunately, Yadira is on her way to a full recovery. She's thankful the doctors took her symptoms seriously when they got to the bottom of her illness. She's also thankful to God that He kept her safe. Next time you start getting a headache and it doesn't go away, you might want to see a doctor.